Great content is not about luck, it's about skill, and like any skill, it takes time and repetition to get good at it. There's no fast hack with this. I do often say this. 20 hours of repetition of creating our content and you will become one of the top 10% of people in the world. The chiropractors who put in the time and effort and energy to dial in their content in 2025 will be the ones who are attracting a steady flow of patients who already know them, like them, and trust them. Today we've covered the 4 key elements that will help you create great content. Content that helps you break through the noise, connect with your audience, and attract the right patients. Choose one of these elements to get started and start applying it today. You'll get better at this. Do not wait for perfection. Okay, start where you are and commit to getting a little bit better with every piece of content that you create throughout this year. And remember, your community really needs your voice. They need your expertise, they need your message, they need your care, they need you to show up, share your truth, and keep making an impact. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, folks. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Marketing in Practice podcast, the podcast where I have the pleasure of simplifying the marketing and the mindset so you, the chiropractor, can increase your income, your impact, and your enjoyment in practice too. Hey, let me start this episode with a question. How was your content game in 2024? Were you creating the kind of content that's attracting patients that you love to see, the ones who already know you, like you, and trust you? Or did it feel a little bit like you were throwing posts into the void, hoping somebody would pay some attention? Now, by content, I don't just mean social media. I mean any of your advertising and marketing messages, from your website through to maybe television or newspaper, radio, anything like that. How is it working for you? Now, here's the deal. If you want a predictable flow of high quality new patients, the kind who feel like referrals because they already really believe in what you do, it's absolutely time to get serious about content creation. In 2025, dialing in your content isn't optional. It's absolutely essential for chiropractors who want to grow their business, okay? Now, content isn't just about marketing. Often we can think about it as pre-marketing. Great content builds trust before patients even need to walk through the door. It attracts people who want to work with you, the ones who align with your vision, who are ready for change, and who are excited to see you. When you get your marketing and your content right, it's the same as those referral people, okay? They come in, they know a lot about you. They've been through your website, they've watched all of your videos, they know what you offer, and they want more of it, okay? Now, this episode is for you if you want to attract a steady stream of patients who already get your philosophy and want what you have to offer. It's for you if you want to make a bigger impact in 2025, if you want to share your message more, if you want to change more lives, okay? And it's for you if you want to kind of really ramp up your enjoyment. You want to see more of the people who you actually enjoy seeing. So what does it look like if we're kind of off with our content? If we're not doing it right, if our content is not cutting it? There are several signs, but here's 3 of the big ones that I see when I'm talking to chiropractors. First of all, you're either attracting the wrong patients or no patients at all. So if you're seeing patients who don't want to stick around, who look like they're tire kickers, who are after just a deal just for the price, then chances are this has to do with your content and your marketing. Great content speaks directly to the right people. So if your waiting room is full of those tire kickers, then chances are it's your marketing and your message that's causing it too, okay? If your content feels like a chore, then chances are that you're doing it wrong as well, okay? If it just feels like this is a box that you need to tick, then your content is not going to work for you, okay? Now, I love creating these podcasts each and every week. It's a passion project for me. I'm in love with chiropractors. It helps to grow my business, all those things. And if it were a chore, it would come through. We have really strong authenticity radars that pick this up. And if you're not committed to your content creation, it's going to come through and your results are going to really suck. And again, the third and perhaps most obvious sign that it's not working is that you're going to be hearing crickets. If there's no engagement, if there's no comments, if there's no messages, then there's going to be no phone ringing, okay? It's a clear sign that your content isn't hitting home, and we're going to solve that problem for you today. Now, on the other hand, there's some clear signs that your content is really working. And the first one is you're going to be attracting high quality patients in, people who already know you, like you, and trust you. Not just people, this is like referrals. I promise you this will happen because people will binge watch your content. They'll come in and they'll say, I've been looking for something just like this. They're ready to say yes. You'll see people engaging with your content. This will be comments and likes. This will be questions that people will be asking. You'll see your content being shared. And then third and finally, you'll actually enjoy the process. When your content reflects you, your personalities, your authenticity, your passion, it's really easy to do. It's an extension of who you are as well. You want to help people. That's why we became chiropractors, and we help people with our adjustments. And our content through our social media, our marketing, our website does the same, okay? Now, if you want the second part of that, if that's what you're looking for, you're in the right place, particularly for this episode. Because today I want to share with you the 4 key elements that'll help you take your content to the next level. These are the exact strategies that'll help you stand out, connect with your audience, and attract patients who make your practice an absolute joy to run. Okay. The first element I want to talk about here is authenticity. Now, here's what I mean, okay? Don't hide behind what you think a chiropractor should say, should wear, should do, should sound like. Each of us have a unique voice, a unique perspective, and that's what people connect with. Authenticity is incredibly magnetic. Now, there are several ingredients in authenticity, and I want to share the most important here. The first is having an opinion. Here's the thing. People trust leaders who have an opinion, and in healthcare, especially as chiropractors, our opinion matters. We already know that the body is self-healing, it's self-regulating. We understand that the nervous system controls and coordinates everything. And this is a big opinion that the world needs to know, particularly a world that's focused on quick fixes and pills and potions, all right? Now, I get it. Sharing your opinion often feels uncomfortable. We can feel vulnerable with this. You're going to worry about people disagreeing with you, okay? Now, this is going to happen from time to time, but the truth is, strong opinions build trust, and they build trust with the right people, okay? Your ideal people. Now, there are several examples here. Let me share some of them with you as well, okay? We could be just telling people symptoms aren't the problem. They're the body's way of calling for change. If we just cover them up, we miss the point. Now, here I'm sharing my opinion. I'm saying, hey, listen, don't reach for the drugs first off. Another one we want to share. The nervous system is the most important system in your body. Most people never get it checked. Let's make a bold statement like that, okay? Again, another one could be, you don't have to feel sick to start taking care of your health. Proactive care beats reactive care every single time. Now, these aren't opinions that are going to alienate people. They're fabulous ideas. They're an idea that the world is moving towards, and they're ideas that are going to help your audience think differently about their health. They're going to attract them towards you. You need to start to ask yourself, what is it that you believe about chiropractic care, about health, about the body? What is it that the world needs to hear? And you need to start to share that unapologetically, okay? The second key for authenticity is to let your personality shine through, okay? Now, people can smell fake from a mile away. I mentioned beforehand, we have these really very efficient, effective authenticity radars. And when that comes through, if you're trying to be somebody else, I'm going to see it, okay? Now, often what we end up being is we end up trying to be a cover band version of somebody else. Now, there's a reason why the cover band gets paid a small fraction of what the original artist is. The original artist is selling out huge stadiums and cover bands are playing in bars. So we don't want you copying somebody else. We want you to find your version, okay? So again, if there's humor, if that's naturally who you are, use it, okay? If it's not you, then don't as well. So, again, are you naturally funny? If you are, then do it. But if you're serious, if that's not, forced humor is never going to work. If you're naturally super calm, if you're steady, if you're thoughtful, if you're quiet in your voice, then that's really powerful too. Authenticity is where power comes from, okay? Not trying to be somebody else, okay? So, again, examples of authentic delivery could be, a funny chiropractor or somebody with a sense of humor might say, your nervous system is a bit more like Wi-Fi in your body. If the signal's weak, nothing's going to work. Let's fix that. Not that that's necessarily funny, but it's a lighter version there too. If we're more calm and educational, we're going to be saying, hey, listen, your nervous system is the master control system of your body. If it's stressed, it affects everything from your energy levels to your immune function. So, are we going to go into more kind of calm and serious? Are we going to use lighter analogies? And these are the same things that you're saying to, practice members on a daily basis, okay? Both examples are going to work, but what is the way that you would normally communicate? A simple thing, wear what you would normally wear, all right? Present yourself in the way that you present in the practice. Now, I'm not saying that appearance doesn't matter. It does. It absolutely does matter. But again, the first kind of 12 to 24 months in practice, I wore a jacket and suit and tie the whole time. Now, I did that because when I started practicing, I was 22 years old, and I looked like I was 17. And I was doing everything to try and look more professional and and older. But again, that was just a cover over things. I soon realized that wasn't me. I wasn't comfortable, okay? So if you're a jeans kind of chiropractor, wear that. If you prefer dressing in a sharp jacket, then do that too. Understand what you wear has to reflect who you are, and it will attract and repel different people. Like, I'm not sure how I would feel about going along to my chiropractor if they were jeans and barefoot and a t-shirt. Now, again, that's just me though. I want them to be taking things a little bit more seriously. Now, do I need them in a jacket and tie? Absolutely not. But I want sharp, casual, and that's the way I always kind of dress because I was dealing with those people. But understand, it's going to have an impact, but you really need to make sure that you're following what your heart about. This isn't about impressing anyone. It's about being comfortable in your skin and showing up your way as well, okay? So, if the best chiropractor wears board shorts and that's what I want to do, and again, I know that works in lots of different places there as well, your patients are going to love you for you, okay? Wear what you want, show up how you feel most comfortable, okay? Number 4 here to think about with authenticity is tell your story. One of the best ways to do this is let people know, why did you become a chiropractor? What's the moment that made you realize how powerful the nervous system is? When did you see chiropractic change somebody's life in a way that really inspired you? Now, people don't connect with facts, they connect with stories. And when you share the why behind what you do, people are going to connect with your purpose and your passion. It might be, hey, listen, I became a chiropractor when I saw my brother go from struggling with asthma as a kid to thriving after getting adjusted. It blew my mind that improving his spine and nervous system could help him breathing better. That's when I knew that I wanted to do this type of work. When you share stories like this, you're not just teaching, you're connecting. All right, these stories build trust. Number 5, don't be perfect, okay? Authenticity means embracing your imperfections. It means showing a level of vulnerability. Perfection isn't relatable, and particularly on social media now, this is what it's about, okay? It is about showing who you are. We've all seen those videos of people who are way too polished to the point of almost being robotic. They might look great, and this works fantastic when we go along to the movies and to the cinema. That's what we want to see. We want to see Leonardo looking amazing and Margot Robbie looking gorgeous. These are the things that we want there, but we know that that's not real. We know that's the movies, the cinema, and it's scripted. We know that that's not real, and we want something different, okay? So I want to give you permission to be human. If you stumble over a word in a video, then don't worry about it. Sometimes if your hair isn't perfect, then again, that's fine too. People love people who aren't perfect. It's what we're looking for. So several times throughout this episode already, I've fumbled and stumbled on a word. And sometimes when I do it bad enough, I acknowledge it. Clearly I need an adjustment here. I'm stumbling over my words. It makes you human and it makes you relatable, and this will make people smile. Here's the key takeaways for authenticity, okay? First of all, have an opinion. Share what you stand for. Second, let your personality shine through, whether you're funny, calm, thoughtful, bold, whatever you are. Wear what feels right for you. Tell your story and embrace imperfection. When you show up as yourself, you stop just being another chiropractor in a sea of content. You become someone people can trust and connect with, someone people who want to listen, okay? Your authentic voice is your superpower, so don't hide it. If you want better content in 2025, authenticity will help you get there. Let's move on to our second element as well. If you want to stand out, you need to stop talking to everybody and you need to start speaking to someone. You need to get specific. Specificity is the second element I want to talk about. This is about choosing a clear audience, using their language. Your content needs to be magnetic, and it can't be magnetic to everybody. People need to see your content and say, that is for me. Now, when we're on social media, when we're scrolling through Netflix, YouTube, you name it, we're looking through things and we're saying, what is for me? Now, I want you to call me out in your content. I want to watch the first 6 seconds of it. I want to read the beginning of your caption there and know that this is for me. So one of the biggest mistakes that chiropractors make there with their content is they try and speak with everybody. Now, coming up, it won't have been out yet, but I want you to watch out. I've got an episode coming up with Andrea Huddleston, who's known as the Period Whisperer. She's built a thriving practice and a business outside of that by focusing on women's health, particularly in around their cycles and their fertility. And again, she's narrowed down, she's become passionate about it, and she's built a thriving business as well. When you try to connect with everyone, you end up connecting with no one. Your audience needs to feel like the content is just for them. Remember, we're scrolling through the feed asking ourselves the question, is this for me? The first step is to choose an audience. Who do you want to speak to? Is it parents with young kids? Is it busy professionals who are burning out from stress? Is it athletes looking to perform better? Is it pregnant mums? Is it families focused on lifelong wellness? When you're choosing an audience, choose one that you love to work with. Choose one who you know you can actually help, and choose one that you know that can actually pay your bills. That's an important one as well, okay? Now, when you choose an audience, you're not excluding everybody else. Unfortunately, it's not as simple as saying, I'm going to focus on athletes and therefore non-athletes will never come and see you. But you're just making it clear who your message is for. This level of clarity will draw the right people to you. But think of it like, this is the center, the nucleus of a cell, and circulating around that are other elements of other people that will come in as well. So again, choose an audience to start with. So let's move on to the next point here, okay? We need to know them inside and out. We need to literally step into the world. So once you've chosen your audience there too, for your content to connect and for it to go deeper, you need to know more than just their demographics. You need to understand their mindset, their fears, their frustrations. You need to understand their day-to-day life. What are they worried about when they wake up in the morning? What frustrations do they vent to their friends? What small wins would lead to them celebrating, feeling really great about it as well, okay? Now, this is more than just language. It's about seeing the world through their eyes. So, for instance, a parent with a constantly sick child isn't just annoyed by a runny nose. They're wondering if their little one is going to fall behind in school. They're wondering if they'll ever get a good night's sleep. A stressed professional isn't just tired. They're worried about their performance slipping. They're worried about missing out on precious time with their family, maybe missing out on a raise, missing out on that next kind of job promotion there as well. When you understand what's really at stake for your audience, you can not only use their language and speak to them, but you can create content that's really going to hit home. Again, we don't want to just talk about immunity. We want to talk about the moment that a parent feels helpless watching their child miss another day of school. We want to not just talk about stress. We want to talk about the frustration of snapping at your spouse at the end of the day because you're so damn overwhelmed, okay? Your audience needs to feel like you get them. And the more you understand their world, the more your content will make them say, finally, somebody understands what I'm dealing with, okay? Now, part of this is using their language, okay? So craft it in their language. Now, here's the challenge. As chiropractors, we're used to talking about health in really technical terms: subluxation, nervous system strength, neurological function. But our audience doesn't think like that, okay? They're not sitting at home saying, I wonder if my nervous system is, stressed. I wonder if I'm subluxated. They're thinking, why does my kid keep getting sick? Why am I so damn tired all the time? Why can't I sit at my desk without my back and shoulders killing me? This is what they're saying. And our job is to take what we know and say it in a way that they'll immediately understand. Let's, again, look at some examples. So instead of saying your nervous system controls and regulates every function in your body, we can say, listen, when your nervous system is stressed, you're going to feel tired, foggy, out of balance. Instead of saying, look, we'll help your child's immune system function, better say, listen, if your child is always sick, runny noses, ear infections, missing school, we'll help them get back on track. Use their language. Speak to what their fears and frustrations. Instead of saying things like, chiropractic can improve your posture and reduce stress on your spine, say, look, if your shoulders are tight, if your back is always hurt after sitting all day, let's fix that so you can feel better and stay more focused, okay? When you use their language, when you use examples that are important to them, we create instant connection. You don't have to have them work to try and figure out what you're saying. It's going to just click. Now, a challenge for you at the end of this episode, write down 3 common phrases that your patients say to describe their problems. Then translate what you do as a chiropractor into how you can match those phrases, okay? Next point when it comes here to being specific as well is relatable pictures. So to really connect with your audience, we need to paint a picture for them. Don't just talk about stress or immune health. Talk to the moments they experience every day. We've done this a little bit before. And so here's what I mean. If you're speaking to parents, we could say something like this: is your child waking up every night crying? Are they tugging at their ears? Are you feeling exhausted? They're miserable. Are you starting to feel like maybe this is just how life will be? We've painted a picture with that. We can imagine, those of us that have been in that situation, we can jump straight back into it. If you're speaking to busy professionals, do you start the day full of energy, but by 3 p.m. you're reaching for your 3rd coffee, maybe your 4th? Are you staring at your screen and wondering how you're going to get through the rest of the day, the rest of the week, maybe the rest of your life? We get to paint really quite vivid pictures with this as well. When you paint these sorts of pictures here, what you're doing is your patients don't just hear you, they see themselves in your message, okay? Again, you want to focus on their goals. Being specific isn't just about describing their problems, it's also about showing people what's possible. Okay, so for parents, we could say things like, imagine your child running around full of energy, sleeping through the night and staying healthy all winter. I mean, that's something that a lot of parents want. If we're talking with busy professionals, imagine making it through the day with clarity, focus, and energy. Okay, being on top of things at work, okay? For athletes, it could be, imagine feeling stronger, recovering fast, and pushing yourself to a whole new level. When you pair the challenges to the outcomes that they're dreaming of, your content becomes more than just helpful. It becomes inspiring, okay? So let's sum up this section here as well. We're talking about being specific here, and key takeaways are choose an audience, okay? Speak to somebody, not everybody. Know them inside and out and understand their fears, their frustrations, and their goals. Use their language. How would they describe their challenges to a friend? Paint specific pictures as well. Help them see themselves in your message and focus on their goals. Show them what's possible with your chiropractic care. Now, when your audience hears you describe their struggles and their goals in words, okay, they'll think this is for me. They'll get it. And when people feel seen and understood, they'll trust you and they'll get on the phone and they will call you, okay? Let's move now and talk about the first 6 seconds of your video or the first paragraph of your caption, okay? So we're talking here about stopping the scroll. Here's the truth. If you don't hook your audience immediately, they're gone. It doesn't matter how amazing the rest of your content is. It doesn't matter what wonderful content you're about to teach, what inspiring stories you're about to sell, to share with them as well. If they scroll past and you can't capture their attention, the rest of your content will never be seen. Now, the introduction of your video or your blog post, it's only a small part of your content. Often it takes up less than 10% of the total volume there too, but it should get at least 50% of your creative energy. That's how important it is. When you look at some of the best YouTubers, they spend all their time working on the thumbnail, okay, the little video clip, because they know if somebody doesn't click on that, this is what often decides whether we click on that video or not, is what that thumbnail looks like, okay? We want to have a really strong hook to call out our audience. We want to make them feel seen. We want to create curiosity. We want to let them what's coming up next. In essence, it says to them, this is for me. I need to listen. I need to watch. Or I need to read, okay? So let's talk about how we can make the most of that first 6 seconds. The easiest way to hook your audience is to call them out directly, okay? Let them know that their content is for them. Now, here's how you could do it. Speak directly to this group. Hey, busy mums. Hey, desk workers. Listen up. In today's video, we've called them out. We could call out a specific challenge. Hey, do you have little ones with constant ear infections? Or are you struggling to stay focused at work after 3 p.m.? Are you reaching for that extra coffee? In today's video, and then we would go on as well. When your audience hears you say their name or describe their exact situation, you've got their attention. They're thinking, this is for me. Now, let me share, there's several simple hook frameworks that we could use. We could ask a question, do you feel like your energy crashes every afternoon? Does your baby cry nonstop, and are you at your wit's end? Questions engage curiosity and they invite an audience to mentally answer them, okay? When somebody asks us a question, mentally we answer it, and this often pulls us in. We can call out a problem. Hey, if your child keeps getting sick, here's what might be going on. If you're sick of tension in your neck after sitting all day, let's fix it in today's video, and then we would jump in, okay? Now, most of us are starting off our videos by saying, hey there, it's Angus here from Life Chiropractic in Port Melbourne. Now, whilst that might be of interest for some of you, if we don't know who you are, we don't care at this stage, okay? Again, another great hook framework is to make a bold statement. We could just say something like this. Hey, the best doctor in the world isn't at a hospital, it's inside your body. Or, did you know your nervous system controls everything? Most people never check it, and here's why you should. Bold statements as well. We could offer a quick solution as well. Here's one simple stretch to release tension in your lower back. Or, here's 3 tips to help your child's immune system thrive. People love quick wins and actionable takeaways, and we want to add these into our hooks. Again, we could add in a visual, visual things, spines, stuff like these. These are all things to make sure that we're going to capture attention. Remember, you might spend hours planning your content, but if your hook doesn't work, nobody's going to get into it. It's all for nothing. And that's why I say at least 50% of your energy should go into the first 6 seconds or the opening paragraph. If it is a video, rehearse it over and over again. You want to really get into and have the start of that video absolutely pop. So don't rush this part. Brainstorm multiple options, test different approaches, get feedback from your team or your peers there as well. A great hook is the difference between someone scrolling past and somebody engaging with your message. Now, key takeaways from this section here on stopping the scroll, okay? Call out your audience. Let them know right away who you're speaking to. Busy mums, okay? Parents with kids with ear infections, busy professionals, athletes. Use those proven hook frameworks I went over before. Questions, bold statements, problems, quick solutions, or use a visual as well. And 3, make sure that we focus our energy here. This part of your content deserves at least half of your effort. Now, when you nail the hook, you set the stage for everything to follow, okay? Your audience is going to feel seen, their curiosity is going to be sparked, and they're going to be ready to listen. So spend some time, get it right, and watch how much effective your content becomes. Okay, so let's talk about the final piece of the puzzle, the call to action. Every piece of content that you create should have a call to action. Why? Because if you don't tell your audience what to do next, most of them won't do anything. The reason why we're not getting phone calls from our social media is that we're not inviting them, okay? Now, here's where a lot of chiropractors get this completely wrong. First thing is they try to squeeze way too many call to actions into their content. So it might be click here, comment below, and don't forget to follow. So when we give multiple calls to action, our audience doesn't know what to do, so it confuses them and it leads to inaction. The second mistake is they make their call to actions vague. It can be something like, let me know what you think. What do you think about what? This doesn't clearly direct your audience what to do and what next action to take. Or the third mistake they make is they feel awkward about inviting people into care. And this awkwardness comes across in their body language and their tone, and it erodes trust. And it means people aren't going to take that action. Now, the good news is a call to action, or a great call to action, is simple, direct, and it's confident. So let's break it down. The first one is just stick with one clear, singular call to action, one piece per content. Now, why? As I mentioned beforehand, if we give too many options, people are going to get overwhelmed and they're going to do nothing. So it might be, what is it? Do we want them to make an appointment? And if it is, we just say this: hey, listen, if you'd like some one-on-one help with your asthma, with your crying baby, whatever it is there too, we'd love to help. Over the last 10 years, we've helped literally thousands of patients just like yours. You can give the office a call on 96461414, speak to lovely Mackenzie, and she'll organise an appointment for us. Now, that wasn't a really great one, but it would be okay. Intent is what really matters through him. We'll talk about that in a moment there too. If we want to comment on the post and focus on that as well. Hey, listen, if you found this video interesting, please comment down beneath. If you want them to share your video, it could be something like this. Hey, if you've got a friend, a family member, a coworker who needs to hear this message, please tag them underneath, or please share this video as well. Remember, confusion kills action, and clarity is what drives results. So always ask yourself, what's the one thing I want my audience to do after engaging with this piece of content? Okay, is it share? Is it like? Is it comment? Is it inviting them in for an appointment? The second thing is our call to action should be confident, not pushy, okay? Now, here's something I want you to hear loud and clear. It is totally okay to be inviting people into care in your content, okay? In fact, it's one of the most important things that you should be doing. You're not being pushy. You're offering a solution to people who need it. And when your audience sees your content, they're often thinking, that sounds great, but what do I do next? And a clear and confident call to action answers that question. It tells them what to do next. Is it something like this? Hey, click the link beneath here to schedule your first spine and nerve system checkup, or follow me for tips on helping your family thrive, or tag a friend who needs to hear this. When I'm thinking about a call to action, particularly if I'm inviting them into practice, I'm thinking about a patient out there who desperately needs my help. I'm thinking about throwing a buoy, like a life-saving device out to somebody who's in a swimming pool and struggling. Not for one moment I'm thinking, oh, I wonder if they want this. Hey, no, they're struggling. They need it. Throw it out to them. The key with a call to action is to deliver it with confidence, and often that means we need to practice and rehearse it. We talked about a little earlier on how important the introduction to your video, that hook is, and I suggest that chiropractors, particularly with their videos, rehearse this, and the same with a call to action as well. So if you hesitate, if you feel awkward, your audience is going to sense it, and this awkwardness will erode trust. Remember, you are here to help people, not to tell them something they don't need. So own your call to action. It's absolutely part of your service, okay? Remember, we need to make it simple and specific, all right? Your call to action, again, simple and specific there too. Don't assume that your audience will know exactly what you do. We need to spell it out really clearly, okay? So instead of check out my website for more information, say, click the link in my bio to schedule your first visit. We don't want them checking out for more information. We want them scheduling the first visit. Instead of saying the same thing like, let me know if you want help, DM me the words help and I'll send you the details. Okay, really clear. Okay, make it easy for them to take action and you'll see way better results. Okay, we should vary our call to actions. Okay, not every piece of content needs to have the same call to action. Vary them based on the type of content. For educational content, save this post so you can refer back to it later. For engagement content, we might want to ask a question. Hey, what's the one thing you'd like to improve about your posture? Comment down beneath here. And for promotional content, click the link to schedule your first visit. We're varying our our call to actions based on what the content is, okay? By mixing up your call to actions, you'll keep your audience engaged. You'll guide them towards different ways of interacting with your practice and our results will be much, much better. So here's some key takeaways for a great call to action. Remember, stick to one clear call to action. Don't confuse your audience with multiple calls to action, okay? One clear one per piece of content. We can vary it across content. Be confident, not awkward, okay? Own your call to action. It's a mindset of service, not sales, okay? Make it simple and specific. Spell out exactly what they need to do, okay? And then vary your call to action so they're fresh and aligned across your different pieces of content. Here's the bottom line. Your call to action is how you guide your audience to take the very next step. It's not about being pushy. It's about being helpful, okay? So make it clear, make it confident, and don't be afraid to invite people into care. Every piece of content you create is an opportunity to serve your audience, grow your impact, grow your practice, and a great call to action is what brings all of this together, okay? All right, folks, let's bring all this home. Today, we've covered the 4 key elements that will help you create great content that helps you break through the noise, connect with your audience, and attract the right patients. Let's do a really quick recap here. The first one was authenticity. Be authentic. This is showing up as yourself, having an opinion, let your personality shine. People connect with you, not a polished version of what you think you ought to be. Number 2 is be specific, and this is all about choosing an audience. Step into their world, speak their language, okay? The more your content feels like it's speaking directly to somebody, the more they'll be saying, this is for me. Number 3, you need to learn how to stop the scroll. This is mastering the first 6 seconds of your video and the opening lines of your caption. Think about those hook templates that I took you through there. A strong hook gets your audience's attention. It has them pause and listen. This gives an opportunity for them to see the body of the video where we share our magic and then into our call to action, which is our last step through here. Guide your audience to the next step with confidence. Keep it simple, specific, and clear. And remember, it's okay to invite people into care. Now, here's the thing. Great content is not about luck. It's about skill. And like any skill, it takes time and repetition to get good at it. There's no fast hack with this. I do often say this, 20 hours of repetition of creating our content and you will become one of the top 10% of people in the world. The chiropractors who put in the time and effort and energy to dial in their content in 2025 will be the ones who are attracting a steady flow of patients who already know them, like them, and trust them, okay? I had an episode not all that long ago with Dr. Cody Hainish. He has 10 to 15 new patients each and every week that come from his social media by just sharing cool and helpful videos, all right? So what's your action step? Choose one of these elements to get started. Is it authenticity? Is it specificity? Is it your hook or your call to action, okay? And start applying it today. You'll get better at this. Do not wait for perfection, okay? Start where you are and commit to getting a little bit better with every piece of content that you create throughout this year. And remember, your community really needs your voice. They need your expertise, they need your message, they need your care, they need you to show up, share your truth, and keep making an impact. As always, thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for the lives that you save on a daily, weekly, monthly basis as well. Your community needs you now more than ever. Until next time, keep saving lives, keep showing up, keep sharing your message. I look forward to seeing you back here real soon. Bye. If you've enjoyed listening to this podcast, you have to come and check out my Community Influencer Program. It's my monthly coaching program where we take all this material and I'll work with you to help you apply it, implement it, and systemize it. The Community Influencer Group Coaching Program is designed to help you increase your practice income, impact, and enjoyment. Join me over at anguspyke.com/join. That's anguspyke.com/join. I'd love to see you there.